time to make some larger Christmas decorations. Hello everyone, I'm Caroline and today I'm going to make some lovely Christmas decorations that are a little bit bigger. They're not the sort of thing you would hang on your tree. They're the sort of thing you can use as a table centerpiece or in your hallway, something like that. Or even you could make them as gifts to give to people or sell them in your craft booth or at your Christmas fair. Right, no time for chatting. Let's get on with crafting. For this Christmas craft, I've got another pair of killer shoes. As you can see, they're rather tall. I've got to measure. Let's see how tall these heels are. Oh, 5.5 inches. I did try them on. I looked enormous. So first thing I want to do is cut these bits off. Now, if you've seen my Halloween video, you'll know what I'm going to do with these shoes. Now, I want to do Christmas with these shoes, not Halloween and not beige. I don't want beige, I want red. Now, I had some success, not this Halloween, I think it was the Halloween before, it could have been the one before that, where I painted some fluffy slippers with some acrylic paint. So I thought, well, I'll try that with these. I want red shoes, red acrylic paint, should do the trick. Out with my brush, I'm only going to use a narrow one, and it's a firmish one. It's quite a bristly brush. I reckon one day I'd be able to sell this as a little piece of modern art, wouldn't I? Look at that. I'm going to use it as a palette as well today. Well, these are from Just Fab. Ooh. So I'll start with trying the heel. Oh, yes, that's going to do perfectly. And I've got two options. I can either paint the underside of the shoe as well. I could paint a different colour. I could paint it white to stand out. But I think I'm going to leave it in the colour it's in just because it saves me painting. And you know me, I don't like painting. It takes too long. So all I'm going to do is get a wet wipe and rub the plastic bit to make sure no paint dries on it. This is a really nice thing to do on a wet, rainy day, or if you've had a stressful day in work, or you're just grabbing 30 minutes peace and quiet for yourself in a hectic day. Settle down and paint yourself a pair of suede shoes. I'm really enjoying this. Right, well, I'll get back to you when I finish these shoes because I'm sure you don't want to watch me painting two shoes. It's a rather slow process. So I'll see you by the magic of YouTube in a jiffy. I just come back to tell you two things that you may want to know. One, this is Rose Madder. Madder than what? I don't know, sorry, but that's Rose Madder. And these shoes cost me £1 in the charity shop. There we go, I'll get on with painting. So my shoes are dry. They're almost dry. They still need a little bit more drying. They're a bit tacky, but I'm going to carry on. I've got my pool noodle. I'm going to work out roughly how long I need this bit to be. I'll do this in real time so you can see how long it takes to cut through a pool noodle. It seems like a long time, but it's much faster than if you do it using a scissors. Faster with a saw. And also, you've got to keep wiping your blade. But be very careful, whatever you use is thick enough because that blade is boiling hot. Now, cut the pool noodle this way, in half. If you push this too hard, you'll snap the blade and then you've got to wait until you can order a new one and then you've got to wait for the person to come and deliver it. And it's really frustrating, so you're better off taking your time. When it starts to slow, you can see it's clogging up. Give it a wipe. It's probably a good idea to wear some sort of heat-proof gloves when you give it a wipe, just in case. I wouldn't want to recommend you just use a piece of kitchen roll because you could burn yourself. So now I want to round the top until it roughly fits in the shoe. It hasn't got to be accurate. Nobody's going to see this. Yep, that's fine. So now cut one of these. Because you're only using half of everything you cut, one cut will do both of the shoes. That back out, poke that in there, pop that back in, and we got one shoe done. Just do the same with the other side. Next thing I'm going to do is put a bow on the back of each shoe. I've got this lovely ribbon. Just fold over a nice bow shape, chop it off. I don't want tails that are too long on this. Pinch it in the middle. Wrap it with a pipe cleaner and give it a twist. It's a good idea to make them both each stage at the same time because otherwise you'll end up with one bigger than the other. Ask me me how I know this. Then dovetail your ends. I'm doing mine both at the same time, so I know they're perfectly accurate. And glue it into place on the back of the heel. So now I've got this plate to stand the shoes on. And you've got two options. You can stand them together as a pair, like that. Or you can do what I think looks really good, is the one shoe poked into the filling here, so that it's difficult to show you here. You'll see it when you get onto my desktop. Work out where I want a hole. I'm going to use the nozzle of my glue gun to make that hole bigger. And this heel is going to go into there. You can hear there, it's got a good grip now. So the next thing we need to do is figure out where they touch this plate and then glue them to the plate. I think that's where I want my shoe to be. Put lots of hot glue, push it into place. So now I'm going to take this riser, glue this on top of the riser. But as you can see, this is all the height I have. There is no way I'm going to get these huge shoes on top of there. So I'm going to glue them on, and then we'll go into my other room and we'll carry on where you can see what I'm actually doing. As you can see, I've taken the riser back off this because to try to film it with this on was just silly. So I'm popping that on the floor and I'll glue it back on when I've finished. So these are my shoes. Normally I would have this on my turntable, but it's Christmas and somewhere buried in my piles of Christmas decorations is my turntable. So I'm not going to be able to spin it around as much as possible, but that doesn't cause a problem because we can still decorate this beautifully. So using my usual system of first of all putting background decoration on, I'm going to put some greenery in these shoes. If you imagine with each foot, the centre's here, so you want things coming out from that centre. You don't want them all sticking upwards or outwards. So you can see these are radiating out. And then as soon as you get above halfway, they start to point up. And then the top one really will point up. And then you can see where I joined these shoes. Do exactly the same thing on the other shoe. I've only got 2 white poinsettias left, so I'm just going to put one in each shoe. So check where I think it'll look best. I think I'm going to go for pretty central. Just need to chop these a little bit. Now I'll let you watch while I play you some lovely Christmas music. Enjoy! So there you have a very glamorous pair of Christmas shoes. I absolutely love these shoes. It's amazing what you could do with a pair of shoes. I did make a pair of shoes for Halloween, and you may want to have a check of that video. I'll put the link at the end because there I show you a few bits and pieces and picks you can make to go on something like this, which you can change the colours of, which you can do for any season, any time of year. Right, I'm going to stick this back onto its riser and then we'll see what it looks like on my display. Next craft, I'm going to use this. It was an old barometer clock. The clock had long gone. The mercury is broken, so I've taken that off. I don't think it's even mercury anymore, but whatever it is, it was broken, so I've taken that off. And I've got this lovely piece of Christmas. It's card, I suppose. It's a very thin card or a very thick paper. So I'm going to turn it upside down, put this over the top, and then lightly with pencil or pen, draw a circle around the inside. This is just my way of doing this quickly and easily. And then I'm going to cut larger, about a 1/2 inch, than the size of the circle. And now, look at that. That's not a very good circle, is it? And then I'm going to be gluing that onto the clock with a little bit of hot glue. Pop that into place like that. So we're ready for the next stage already. The next stage, I'm going to use 2 bells and a piece of ribbon. This is really fiddly. Thread your piece of ribbon through the bell. Get fed up of trying to put your ribbon through the bell. Get yourself a thick eyed needle, poke your ribbon through the eyed needle, and then poke it through the bell. Isn't that much faster? I don't know if you can hear the rain yet again. It seems like every time I'm filming, it's raining. We've had a very, very wet beginning of the winter here in Wales. Put my second bell through. And now these I'm going to want at different lengths, but I want to make sure they're not too long, because I've not got a lot of space in the bottom of this clock, and these are the only silver bells I've got. From that one, about there. Complete guesswork. This could go terribly wrong. And now I've lost my last finger protector under the piles of bits and pieces for Christmas all over my desk. So I'm going to use a screwdriver. Probably not the best idea. And then glue this into place there so the bells hang. Well, they are a bit long, but I think we'll get away with it. Shh, don't tell anyone. Now I'm just going to stick a little bit of greenery on top of the 2 bells, just to make them look less just tied on and glued on. And a little bit to cover the join where the ribbon's glued on. And now the bit I've been looking forward to. Look at this. I got this for 50p at a charity shop. It does seem to be metal and it's quite cold, and I'm going to glue this on like that, and I think it's going to look amazing. So I'll decide where I want it. I don't know whether to put it at the top there or further down. I'm going to put it further down because I want to add a bow. So hot glue on the back, and then try to put him as central as I possibly can, which is usually not very central when it comes to me. There we go, just like that. Oh, I'm loving this. I think it's so pretty. But now, you need to add a bow. You know me, there's a lot of expanse up here and any excuse for a bow. I'm struggling with this. I love making bows, and bows always look beautiful, but is that going to take away from the simple, clean look there? I think it might do. What I may do is put a little bit of decoration up here. Just very small, very classy, very glamorous. Yes, as much as I wanted an excuse for a bow, I think that looks better. And I love that. It was so simple to make, and you can keep your eye out for old clocks. It isn't even that old. Maybe we can see in the back. No, there's no real indication of the age. Definitely it's not old. And there we go. If it had been scratched, I could have got a scratch remover out. Done that. I could have put a little bit of gilding on it. But I love that the way it is. It's so simple. It's very country, but it's also very glam. I don't know. What would you say? Country or glam? Or glamorous country? It's got to be something. All right, let's see what this looks like up on my display. Christmas decoration, I've got this. It was from the thrift store. As you can see, it was 40p. So I've taken a sticky label off there. It's still a bit sticky. I'm not going to worry about that because I'm painting over it. Take the price tag off now I've shown you. And I'm going to paint this up because it would be okay for a different type of display, but I want it to look really traditional, festive. Well, as much traditional festive as a handbag full of flowers can look. So I've got my chalk paint here, and I've also got a red chalk paint that I made up. This is just a red acrylic paint with some, you can either use cornstarch, talcum powder, something like that. And I put in probably about 1/4 to 1/2 of talcum powder. I do it until it's really thick, and then I add some water until it's spreadable. That's all I do, nothing technical. So I'm going to paint the main part of this bag white, and I'm going to paint the lid red. I've been trying to decide which way to go, and I think that's going to look the best at the moment. Well, I may change my mind. Not that I ever change my mind. No, not me. Open the lid and try not to get any white on the lid, but I don't mind if I do because I'll be repainting that later. I'm going to put 2 coats on this. I think it's going to take a full 2 coats. My chalk paint's going a bit thick again. Add a little bit of water, give it a stir, and that should be fine. Perhaps a bit more. Do you like my bottle? I found that in a river. It's a lovely old antique bottle. Beautiful colour. There we go, paint on me already. So now let's carry on with the painting. And if you're going to do 2 coats, if you know 1 coat isn't going to be enough, then don't worry about putting the first coat on too thickly because it'll take forever to dry. This first coat is really just basic coverage to make sure the second coat sticks nicely. You can spray paint this, you can put some undercoat on first and then go for painting it. I always like to go straight in with my chalk paint. I make enough mess with a brush. You should see me with a spray can. So I'll get back to you when all the bag is white and all the lid is red and it's nicely dry and ready to carry on. I finished painting this, then I popped some glass beads down the bottom to give it some weight. And I popped in a few layers of pool noodle. I love pool noodles for flower arranging. So now what we have to do is put a really nice display in here. And I don't want this lid opening perfectly wide, which is brilliant because it doesn't. I want everything to look like it's spilling out of the bag. So I'm just going to put a row of these all along the bottom and around, give it like a background to show off everything else to its best effect. If you're enjoying these Christmas floral crafts, don't forget to subscribe because I've got lots more videos coming your way. I'm going to keep the colour theme with this in blacks, silvers, reds and greens. I've only got 2 of these, so I'll put 1 either side. Try to keep your display balanced unless you're particularly going for an asymmetrical design. Now I've got some of these lovely long ones. These are going to make a really dramatic statement. So I'm going to pop these in the top, 1 either side, and 1 poking out of the top. You see what I'm doing now, can you? Let's turn that up a little bit because this display is actually getting taller all the time. So that's the effect we've got at the moment. But now I want to add some different foliage. It's always good to put a variety of colours, textures, whatever you've got in. So I'm going to rummage in my other box where I tend to put everything that I've used bits of, or if I've come to the end of a project and I've got some spare bits. Let's have a look what we've got here. Well, that's a lovely bit of holly. So I'm going to pop that in as a focal point and get it to stay in. This is a very floppy stem. Have a look then, see if you're happy with it and decide where you need some bits and pieces to go. Oh, look, I just found another black one. So I'm going to take that out. Pop this one coming in. Ooh, where should we go? Top, I think. Like that. This forms like a triangle. And then pop this holly down the bottom. I don't know now. No, I'm not going to put that one in. I've already stolen the berries out of these. So there aren't any berries, but I'm using them just for the leaf effect. I think they really lighten this display. Poinsettia in there. I've got this little vintage deer or reindeer I told to hang out. I cut a bit of this spare pick. Push it into the reindeer. Oops, try to go all the way through like I did. And then pop the reindeer as if he's about to jump or leap over And he's leaping over the display. And now as a contrast, I put the reindeer in there, or the deer, so I'm going to put some beads over this side. Some beads, actually some berries, like that, just so it isn't one-sided. And I just need a little something in here that's red, fill in this bit. Have a rummage in my box. I'm really tempted by this Christmas tree, but it's got the wrong colour star on the top. Change it up for a white star, and then I'm going to pop that tree up there. You can see it really is important to try everything, even if it's not something you would normally do and think, I wonder what this would look like. It's amazing what you can come up with. All right, we've still got too big a gap here. Always reassess your flower arrangement or your pretty pick arrangement every time and see what you can do to make it better. So I think I'm going to pop those in there. I'm going to add that there too, that bow. I think that's lovely with the bauble on. That's my floral display in a bag. That bag cost me 40p plus paint. And I think that is really stunning and would be an ideal gift to give to somebody for their Christmas display. You could easily sell these in a booth. That looks lovely, doesn't it? Just be sure to mention it's not a toy. You don't want children playing with this. Let's see what this looks like up on my display, and I think I love it.
Ringing in my ear, jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light, while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing, just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day.
Well, wasn't that fun? I do enjoy making larger decorations. I make smaller ones too. But sometimes you just feel like making some huge decorations that really will give a massive impact all on their own. You wouldn't need anything else on your shelf or on your table. If you've enjoyed this video, then please give me a thumbs up, and I would love to hear your comments. Which was your favourite? Please let me know. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell by the side of the subscribe button. That way then, as soon as I put a video out, you will know it's there, so you won't miss anything. I'll see you all next time. But until then, don't forget, happy crafting and have fun. Bye.